Hey guys, welcome back to the Buzz Weaver channel for this Friday. And we have a very important story. Breaking news, top stories that I had to cover today. This is one of those situations where I ask you guys to make sure, if you're able, if you're willing, I know it can be annoying, but share this particular video also. This is so poignant because this stresses exactly what we have been talking about here on the Buzz Weaver channel for several years, and that is that the mainstream media works alongside the Democrats, activists, special interest to ensure, one, that everyone hated Trump as much as they did, and to ensure that President Trump was not going to hold back the establishment for another 4 years. And here we have even more confirmation. And just like with Molly Ball's article on the cabal, her spiking the football, and the mainstream media all giddy and excited about intentionally working together to ensure that the election had a particular desired outcome, as she likes to say. So there you have it. Voter interference admitted to by Molly Ball, Time Magazine, and the establishment because Joe Biden was already president. And we're going to see more of that today. So make sure you like, subscribe, share this video. Thank you for all your guys' support, those on Rumble, Odyssey, and BitChute, for allowing me to have this little bit of time with you guys here on a Friday. From the New York Post, now that Joe Biden's president, the Times finally admits Hunter's laptop is real. So there you have it. All this time, individuals were banned, demonetized, suspended, smeared, criticized, ridiculed, humiliated, name it, by social media if you even came close to talking about this particular topic. Okay? I'm sure you guys remember that. Forgive the profanity, but you've got to be S-ing us. No doubt, without a doubt. See, I'm so accustomed to this now. I'm sure many of you are too. Many of you who watch the Buzz Weaver channel know that what I do here on this channel is I present information to you in a digestible way. I take the complicated, I take the confusing, I take the manipulation, the framing, and so forth that the media uses, and I give you the direct information from a common sense, cogent position. Now, you may not agree with me, but at least I have the information and the sources right here that I can share with you guys, and you can dispute it. You have an issue with the information, take it up with the New York Post and all the other sources that I have. I am simply showing you in detail, with information, with sources, what I have witnessed and what I have been saying. Now, of course, my commentary is my opinion. My thoughts about the articles are my opinion. First, the New York Times decides more than a year later that Hunter Biden's business woes are worthy of a story. Then deep in this piece, or deep in their piece, the story itself, in passing, it notes that Hunter's laptop is legitimate. That's right. They buried the lead. They went into all of this nonsense fluff language like they like to do. For example, they just want people to read a headline and go, okay, well, whatever, and or big deal, or on to the next subject, or on to the next topic. That's why this story came out late Thursday and on a Friday, which are, well, Thursday night and Friday are the slowest news days. And it's funny that I put out a Friday vlog because that is like the slowest news day of the entire week because everybody's getting ready for their weekend and so forth and so on. So here we have it. This is what was trending yesterday, and I saved the link because there's a lot of interesting replies here, but as I say here, a New York Times article details the Justice Department's inquiry into Hunter Biden's business dealings, including emails between him and his associates obtained by the publications for, you know the deal. You know the deal. You know the deal. You know all the pictures that were posted out there, that were taken down, that were, you know, they were banning people, they were suspending people, they were kicking people offline, they were calling people conspiracy theorists. Here from Media Research Center. Flashback, media pundits lied to you, falsely claiming that the Hunter Biden laptop story was Russian disinformation. Remember that? Not only that, but for 2.5 years, the mainstream media, the Democrats, the Trump detractors, spent 2.5 years trying to convince everyone that President Trump's victory was a result of Russian collusion, which was completely fake, completely fabricated. That's absolutely right. And of course, there's more stories now relating to this now, but suffice it to say. So here we have it. Jen Psaki, the White House press secretary. Hunter Biden's story is Russian disinfo. Dozens of former intel officials say. Now, of course, she's not going to say it herself, but she, of course, is on the same team of these individuals, on the team of the Trump detractors, on the team of the establishment, on the team of the deep state, as it were. Now, you couldn't say deep state, you know, and all these sorts of things just a few years ago, like, what was it, some of the meetings, the Bilderberg groups, and all these. You couldn't talk about these just a few years ago. You couldn't even mention these things, or you would be labeled a conspiracy theorist. But here it all is. It's all coming to fruition. And think of all the memes with Alex Jones and all the memes about you being called a conspiracy theorist while everything is starting to appear. And the Davos group also, the meeting with Davos, Bilderberg. If you said any of that, the deep state, if you said any of that stuff just 6 years ago, you would be labeled a conspiracy theorist. But here you have it. Here you have it. They were wrong. Absolutely. Yep. And I'm 5'7" and bulletproof. There you have it. So just lots of people commenting on this. And as you can see over here, there's not a whole lot going on with the continuation of it trending, of course. I don't know what thug is, but nonetheless. So flashback, 16% of Biden voters would have voted differently if Hunter Biden laptop story was not suppressed by media big tech. So we already know that the cabal of people, as Molly Ball talks about, worked together to ensure that there was a desired outcome in the election. So here you have it. All those that like to question me when I give them the Molly Ball article link, they like to say, oh, well, this, that, and the other. Well, here it is right here. Right here. This information was suppressed. This information was suppressed. And 16% of Biden voters would have voted differently. Now, down here, the post here says from Kyle, seems like a good day to remind everyone that 16% of Biden voters would not have voted for Biden if they had been aware of the Hunter Biden laptop story. So 16%, and then they talk about like how it might have affected everything considering the amount of votes. But again, laws were changed. They even violated states' constitutions like Pennsylvania to ensure that they could use the mail-in ballot system. From the Chattanooga Times Free Press, Cooper, 1 in 6 Biden voters would have changed their minds if they had known the full story. Failed 2016 Democratic presidential candidate Hillary Clinton spent the 3 years after her defeat providing anyone who would give her an audience some 24 different excuses why she did not win. As such, she has wound up, as one pundit said recently, caricatured and largely irrelevant. And that's exactly true. Well, remember what we just said a moment ago. 2.5 years on a fabricated story about Russian collusion, if for no other reason than to smear Trump. If for no other reason. And they're continuing to pursue President Trump, and no sitting president or former president has ever been indicted, but that's not stopping individuals who absolutely have to make sure that they can do everything they can to make sure that President Trump doesn't run in 2024. So if you think it's ugly now, if you think that things are ugly now, even though you're seeing these stories of the left and the establishment spiking the football, you just wait as President Trump continues moving forward. NPR, you guys probably remember this very well because we covered it back October of 2020. Facebook and Twitter limit sharing New York Post story about Joe Biden. That's right. Facebook and Twitter took action on Wednesday to limit the distribution of New York Post reporting with unconfirmed claims about Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden leading President Trump's campaign and allies to change the companies or to charge the companies with censorship. Absolutely extraordinary. Absolutely extraordinary. So when people ask me, what do you mean by your phrase of Democrats working alongside the mainstream media, special interest, activists, and special interest to ensure that President Trump was not going to be elected? Here you have it, right here. As I said, make sure you share the video, like and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you to all those on Rumble, Odyssey, and BitChute. And we move forward. Now, I want to go ahead and let you guys know that this is going to sound very muffled, but this is President Trump talking to Leslie Stahl from 60 Minutes, and Leslie Stahl insists that there is no evidence, that there is no genuine, tangible information that the laptop is real. So it's going to be very muffled, just so you guys know.
Leslie.
And you think it's the biggest issue to campaign on?
I think it's one of the biggest scandals I've ever seen, and you don't cover it. You want to talk about...
Well, because it can't be verified.
You want to talk about insignificant things.
I'm telling you.
Of course it can be verified. Excuse me,
We
they
can't
found the
verify.
laptop. Leslie,
It can't be
Leslie,
verified.
what can,
So there's Trump basically outlining, trying to tell her that imagine the frustration, imagine the annoyance, imagine President Trump's personal restraint, knowing that all this was going on, knowing that he was being spied on by the Obama administration, that's been confirmed also, knowing that for 2.5 years they pushed a Russian fabricated story about collusion. Then during the Capitol 6 incident, the FBI came out and said they found no coordination. Then you have the same media that came out against a young boy, 16-year-old, the Covington kids, Nicholas Sandmann, they came out against him. Then they came out against Kyle Rittenhouse. Even the president, Joe Biden, called Kyle Rittenhouse a white supremacist. So these people continue with their smearing, disgusting, evil, mean-spirited garbage nonsense to this very day. This is why it's so important that if you haven't already, that you make sure that you're subscribed here to the channel, whether you're on Rumble, whether you're on Odyssey, whether you're on BitChute, but more specifically here on YouTube, because it is this commentary from individuals like myself. I'm very small channel, very tiny little channel, but individuals like Tim Pool, Styx Hexenhammer, Luke from We Are Change, just a handful of conservative commentators. Well, I can't call them conservatives. I'm the one who's conservative, but this level of commentary where we take the information from the media and indicate to everyone, show everyone what's actually happening. So an absolutely stunning story. And of course it had to come out on a Thursday night, Friday, because that's when there's the slowest news story. But ladies and gentlemen, here you have it. As we have said from the Molly Ball article, confirming even more that the establishment, the cabal, the deep state, whatever you want to call them, pretty much irrelevant what you want to call them, all worked together to ensure that their surrogate, their puppet, their shadow, Joe Biden, was going to become president. Now, I could do probably a whole other segment on what's going to happen if this is actually investigated, which is a whole other story, because it's going to tie right to the big guy. That's Joe Biden. Absolutely amazing. But guys, it's Friday. I wasn't really planning on doing a video, but here we are. Nonetheless, thank you for your support. I hope you guys have had a chance to check out the Friday vlog where we talk about where Hillary Clinton tried to start a war with Russia back if she had been elected. So make sure you check that out. And of course, if you're watching this here on YouTube, thank you for your guys' support. For all of you guys on Rumble, Odyssey, and BitChute. And of course, right now, as we wrap things up, thank you for all your guys' support. And here, appearing on the screen, that would be the channel icon. For those of you watching on YouTube, you can click on that to subscribe, as well as to select that for notifications. That's probably going to be right next to Kim Kardashian, by the way, who's laying there in the water. But guys, I want to thank all of you for your continued support, and I will see you in the next video.